All right, welcome to our lesson today. We are working in Unit 1, Lesson 1, Section 5, titled Hemispheres, Continents, and Oceans. Few of us will ever see Earth from an astronaut's point of view, but we can use maps and globes to get a bird's eye view of our planet's natural wonders. Geographers make these features easier to understand by dividing Earth into different areas. A hemisphere is half a world. So geographers divide the Earth into halves, called hemispheres. The equator divides Earth into two different hemispheres. The northern half is called the northern hemisphere, and the southern half is called the southern hemisphere. The prime meridian also divides Earth into two hemispheres. The western half is the western hemisphere, and you guessed it, the eastern half is called the eastern hemisphere. So there are four different hemispheres that geographers have created. They are the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, the western hemisphere, and the eastern hemisphere. Continents and oceans cover Earth. So geographers divide Earth's lands and seas into areas. The ocean covers about 70% of Earth's total surface, so only 30% of it is land. There are 5 different oceans: the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian, the Southern, and the Arctic. And you can see a picture of each of them on the left side of your screen. Sometimes you might see a map that has the Atlantic and/or the Pacific divided at the equator. When this happens, they might be called the Northern and Southern Atlantic or the Northern and Southern Pacific. You'll also notice in the map that on the left side of the map and the right side, or the west side and the east side, they both say Pacific Ocean, because on a globe or on Earth, this is actually one ocean, but when laid out on a flat map, it gets divided. Continents are the largest areas of land on our planet. There are 7 different continents, and from largest to smallest, they are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. Europe and Asia are part of one large landmass, and you'll sometimes hear it or see it called Eurasia. This is because geographers had separated them due to the fact that these two continents have different cultures and different history. Now that you've heard our lecture and you've learned about the hemispheres, the continents, and the oceans, go to page 7 of your workbook and use the questions provided by Mr. Bragdon to complete the activity. If you don't have the questions, a copy can be found on the class website, mrbragdonsclassroom.weebly.com. Label the map on page 7 with your answers, and make sure that you're reading the questions carefully. There are also 2 more videos that you can watch after this one that will help you to learn the 7 continents and the 5 oceans. The first video is titled 7 Continents and 5 Oceans, and the second one is a Continents and Oceans parody song to an LMFAO song.